know the mindset of a murderer? You're the sloppiest murderer I've ever.
Gross.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
I've had it with this bitch's mouth.
I'm almost done.
Thank God.
But it's one more awful thing that will make your blood boil. Hey, Rach.
Oh, hey, Robbie, B123. That still works. Maiden name and married name. Who knew?
Yep. That was my old screen name back in the day.
That's going to be one of the next shooting the shits. Someone asked what our old screen names were. And I'm like, oh, hold on to your hat.
That's a whole episode in itself.
Oh, God, we change that shit all the time. You rented that shirt.
Yes.
RTR?
RTR, Rent the Runway.
I did too.
See YouTubers?
Mine's coming tomorrow. I was scared it was going to be too crowded. Wait, that is so funny. Did I send that to you?
No, because you saw it on my phone and you said, wait, that didn't show up on my Rent the Runway.
I don't think so. That's not what that was.
For those who are listening, it's like a cropped flannel,
Mm-hmm.
and I've buttoned it all the way up because I'm a serious goose today.
She has her work pants on today.
Have you seen that shirt?
No.
That says it's a goose with a top hat.
And
it says I'm a serious goose today. You know, opposed to a silly one, a silly goose.
I prefer the silly goose, if we're being honest. God, that's funny. Okay, I'm amped for that to come tomorrow then. Great.
Yeah, it's cute. All right. Let's get into it because today it gets a little dark. And it's long. So
I'm scared.
It could be a 2-parter, but I didn't want to do that. Who has time for that? Not our listeners. No one does.
I think people like the length of our sods.
Right.
Is it gory? I'm not feeling well.
Okay.
Again.
Well, I don't care about that.
Oh, okay.
Today, I am telling you about Taylor Parker. Sources, court documents, thanks to KATL.com. Shout out to you. You give a play-by-play of the trial.
Are we in Atlanta today?
No, we're in the Texarkana area.
Oh, okay. You said KATL?
Yeah, KATL. People Magazine, Texarkana Gazette, KTBS, and True Crime Daily. Taylor Parker was born in 1992 in Titus County, Texas, which is northeast Texas near Texarkana and about an hour from the Oklahoma border. She seemed to have a complicated childhood. She didn't get along with her mom, Shauna, at all. So when her parents got divorced, she stayed with her dad, Mark, and Taylor's little brother went with Shauna. So that's sad.
That is sad.
Siblings separating is always sad.
Mm-hmm.
When she was 17 years old, she got pregnant by her 19-year-old boyfriend, Donald Whiteside. And they were going to make it the most of it. So she actually moved in with Donald, but found out he was cheating on her. So she broke up with him and moved out, which I got to say, at 17 years old and pregnant, that would be tough to walk away.
Brave.
Fuck
you, Donald.
She later met a guy, Tommy, who she would eventually marry. And Taylor's daughter, Emerson, saw him as her father. It was literally the only dad she's ever met. She's ever known. I don't think she actually ever met Donald.
Oh, really? God,
yeah.
She really is a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Tommy is the only dad Emerson's ever known. Tommy and Taylor went on to have a son of their own, but sadly, this marriage wouldn't last. It seemed amicable, though. And since Tommy wasn't technically Emerson's biological dad, Taylor got full custody of her, but would often let her go visit him and, all the things.
Yeah.
And then they had joint custody of their son.
Okay.
So in 2019, she's 27 at this point. She meets a guy at a rodeo.
Okay. Classic Texas.
This entire story is so Texas. Not the worst of it, but things like this. I'm like, God.
That is so funny.
His name was Wade Griffin, and he works at a roofing company, but his family had a hog farm or something.
That's exactly what I picture Wade's family having.
Mm-hmm.
Wade Griffin.
Wade Griffin and his family's hog farm.
Yes.
So on the side of his day job at the roofing company, he would help hog trap. I'll put that in quotes because trap the hogs. I don't know what that entails. I don't know.
It sounds dangerous.
Oh, okay. I don't think it is. I don't know. And he would manage livestock. On top of that, he also did some welding, landscaping. So he's a woodsman.
Yeah. Get it, Wade.
He and Taylor stayed in touch mostly through Instagram. And then one day, Taylor asked him to do an estimate on clearing and fencing some land in Bryan's Mill, Texas. You see, Taylor's family is rich.
Oh, okay.
They have that oil and gas money.
There it is.
There it is. But her mom, Shauna, is the executor.
She's the executioner.
She's the executor. And since she and Taylor didn't get along, she would really pull the purse strings on her spending. Taylor couldn't access the funds herself, so her uncle Butch would help her out and send her money when she needed it, which caused some tension between he and Shauna too. So the family dynamic, it's murky at best, very complicated. And whenever Butch would help Taylor, Shauna would send them like scathing emails, essentially harassing them about spending her money and all this shit. So
they like don't get along that much.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. She's not like giving her shit.
Right.
Wow. What happened there?
What do you mean she's not giving her shit?
Money wise.
Oh, yeah.
Like she's like, it's not like, we just butt heads a lot. It's like, if you give her a dime and she's 27 years old with 2 kids, I'm going to send you a scathing email. I don't know.
There's no explanation in the child, like in her early childhood, if something happened or why they started not getting along. I'm just guessing it's as she got older and money got more and more involved, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But this particular property Taylor was maintaining for her family. And again, she asked Wade to come quote the clearing and fencing. And before long, they were having dinners together and meeting each other's families. And the one time Wade met Shauna, she just glared at him, never even introduced herself, which makes me very uncomfortable at the thought of going an entire night not meeting or speaking to your girlfriend's mother. Why are you smiling like that?
Oh my God, it's just so awkward.
Oh yeah, I know.
Where were they at dinner?
No, at like a relative's house.
Oh God.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
How awkward.
But on the other hand, Taylor got along great with Wade's family. They thought that she was outgoing and sweet, had a good head on her shoulders. But on top of all of that, Wade said she was the best cook he'd ever had.
Wow. Good.
He said he loves to eat and would like text recipes to Taylor, like, "Oh, this looks good. We should try this." And by the time he got home from work, it'd be on the table ready for him.
Holy shit.
I don't know. She also helped care for the livestock, and she did shit around the house, just really helped out. And
okay, we're not letting Payne listen to this episode.
No, we are not, because you're not going to take care of the livestock.
I can't. I haven't the time.
So they became serious very quickly. In August 2019, she found out she was pregnant. And even though they had only been dating for a couple of months at this point, she was amped about it. But sadly, she lost the baby in a very tragic accident.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
You don't have to say, like, what, car accident?
No.
No.
Wade was at work one day and got a call from Taylor's dad, Mark, who was extremely upset. Taylor was helping Mark with some farm equipment that had gotten stuck, and they were towing it. And the winch snapped, and the towing cable hit her in the stomach.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Oh my God. That is like all I can think about if I see a winch. Is something like that.
I know. Even like farm equipment. Oh,
it's so dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
I mean, it cut a guy. We went to high school with a guy who got his finger cut off in a winch. Like, it's so strong. It's so dangerous. Oh God.
I know a guy who's going to spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair because of an accident at farm equipment. An accident on farm equipment. Sorry. After that, Taylor and Wade became even closer and wanted a fresh start and really get their ducks in a row for their future. So Taylor was playing with the idea of an investment property, and Wade told her about this property called Pecan Point, which is a sprawling piece of land in the northeastern part of Texas and goes into Oklahoma. Wade knew the owner, and it had great duck hunting, which would be a good source of income for them. So Taylor agreed to go see it, and she loved it. It was a ton of acreage and was on the market for $4.7 million.
No.
And they offered $3.5 million with $250 down.
Damn.
But again, her mom, Shauna, was not going to take this lightly. This was going to be a battle.
Oh, all her money? All Taylor's money? I mean, yeah, I guess.
I mean, I think Wade, pitches in when he can, but yeah, essentially.
Damn.
4.7 for a oil and gas family is kind of a drop in the bucket.
That's true.
Nonetheless, Shauna, this is going to be a battle. But they get excited anyway. And on that Christmas 2019, they made cards and they put pecans all over it and they gave it to Wade's family to announce their big, purchase.
Their new venture. Wow.
Their new venture. And because Wade's family are big duck hunters, so it was really like, you'll never have to look for a hunting lease again.
Oh my God. You'll never long for duck comfy again. I bet they say pecan.
I bet they do too.
Love it.
On top of that, Wade bought an ATV for $29,000 and a $92,000 pickup truck.
Okay. I don't like where this is going.
It's not the smartest purchase when a family attorney who works for Shauna has to approve these purchases, but not my circus, not my monkeys.
Well, you're bringing us into it a little bit.
Taylor's Uncle Butch reassured her it would be fine and set up a separate account for her and periodically put oil and gas royalties in it for her to access, but it wasn't like hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time. Wow. So essentially, what?
Did he do this in secret, I'm guessing? Shauna would have lost her shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. He's really Team Taylor.
Yeah. Her grandmother actually helped him too. They set the account up. Yeah.
Jeez.
So essentially everything they bought was financed with the intent of paying it off later.
Okay.
By this point, Taylor and her 10-year-old daughter, Emerson, moved in with Wade. In February 2020, she finds out she's pregnant again. And again, she's amped.
I bet.
Wade was admittedly not as excited about it at first, which I think that's standard to have your guard up after losing a baby.
Yeah.
But he does eventually come around and they do the whole thing, the pregnancy pictures, a big gender reveal at their friend's house where a calf came out wearing a pink ribbon.
A calf, like a baby cow.
Like a baby cow.
I was like, what? A what came out? That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's way less dangerous than some of these other yahoos fucking dropping shit out of planes and setting stuff on fire.
No,
so,
I know.
Good.
Yes. Have that little baby cow prance around.
Yeah.
They also announced her name, which was going to be Clancy Gail Griffin. Then Shauna started up again. She was radio silent for a little bit. Honestly, I think she was in jail, but I'm not sure why. She went to jail for a short time. Not sure why. But she started back up with the phone calls and the texts. And in one of them, she referenced something about the morning y'all were sitting outside drinking coffee or something that made Wade and Taylor be like, shit, she is literally watching us, either by spying or putting up cameras. She would tell Taylor she's going to be a shitty mother.
Oh my God.
And would call Wade from an anonymous number, berating him about how he's just in it for the money and she will make sure that he does not see a dime of it. Essentially, she's going to destroy them, she says.
Okay. So this is like a big beef.
Yeah. So they really don't get along. But
so
it's a rival.
They don't just butt heads. Again,
it's a feud.
Stating this.
Once Wade got a text from, I'm doing air quotes, Taylor's ex-husband to warn him that Taylor's not really pregnant. She's just a lunatic and all this shit. So they actually get burner phones to avoid Shauna knowing their whereabouts, and they block her on all social media. Taylor's due date is at the end of September, and they don't have time for that bullshit. So they spend the summer prepping for baby Clancy. As the due date got closer, she was becoming more stressed out and confided in her friend Reagan Hancock. They met a year earlier when Taylor took Reagan's engagement photos, and then later she took the wedding photos, which was a side gig of Taylor. She loved photography. Mm-hmm. And the two stayed in touch and became pretty good friends. So September 30th was the due date, and that comes and goes. So Taylor's OB set her induction date for October 5th, and that morning she and Wade ran out to do some errands before going to the hospital, and they came back to their house on fire.
Stop.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't in full flames, but it was enough to ruin some crucial belongings, and it knocked out the power and plumbing. So they couldn't live there, especially with a newborn.
No, I'm very nervous.
Yeah. The fire department determined it was done with a lighter and someone started it under the house, which creeps me out. Like, what if they were there? I don't when Taylor and Wade were. Oof. Willies.
Yeah.
So they moved the induction date back to noon the following day. And now they have to take this newborn to Wade's mom's house. It's I know, an incredible burden.
But, yeah. Sorry for everyone.
Yeah.
That sounded like you meant like just for the mom. Like, what? I'm sure she's happy to do it.
No,
but that would suck to not be in your own space during
that's what I
critical time.
A burden for them. That's what I meant, more so.
I know. Just wanted to clarify.
Any grandparent would love to have that newborn in their house when they don't have to get up every hour.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So the next day comes, and Taylor and Wade were actually planning to go sell some hogs to some dude in Wynnewood, Oklahoma, which is a few hours away.
Wow.
Very ill-advised to do this the day you're having a baby, but the buyer of these hogs said he needed them by the weekend. And with their financial issues because of these purchases and a recent fire, they could really use the money, and it was going to be like over $6,000. So they decided to roll the dice.
Wow.
So Wade gets up at 3:30 a.m. that morning, and Reagan is already up because she's been cramping most of the night. Oh. Apparently they weren't debilitating. She didn't think they were contractions, but she decides she is definitely not going with him to this hog sale. It's too risky.
Oh, thank God. She's over a week late at this point, right?
She's almost a week late. Yeah.
Oh my God.
She's 5 days late or whatever.
Oh God.
Maybe 6. Yeah. But she tells him to go so they don't lose the sale. Wade's reluctant, but she says, it's fine. I'll go get us registered. I'll do all that crap and we can meet there before noon. So he leaves the house around 4 a.m. and he pulls up to Scott Robinson's house in Wynnewood, Oklahoma, only to be told that he didn't know what the hell Wade was talking about.
Oh.
He was in the market for hogs, but he didn't confirm a purchase with anyone yet. Wade shows Scott the text that he supposedly sent him and Taylor, and Scott says that's not even his number.
What?
So Wade immediately knows that Shauna is behind this and he's likely going to jail because it's actually illegal to cross state lines with livestock.
Oh.
Wade was just rolling the dice thinking that they're going to do a little hush-hush transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's pissed because this means he's going to miss the birth of his daughter because he's going to be in jail. But little did he know he was going to miss it anyway. Because around 9:30 a.m. that morning, Taylor was getting pulled over in DeKalb, Texas for hauling ass and driving erratically. She calls 911 while being pulled over and tells the dispatcher, there's a state trooper behind me, but my baby is coming out and I am not pulling over.
Oh my God.
Taylor was at Walmart in New Boston, Texas before this, getting new things for the baby to replace the ones that were lost in the fire. And she started having contractions.
Oh my God, I'm so nervous.
She abandoned her car and was racing to the hospital in Idabel, Oklahoma, which was almost an hour away. And she was about 30 minutes out when she gets pulled over. The dispatcher calls for an ambulance and tells Taylor help is on the way, but she needs to pull over.
No.
Hey, listeners, if you're eating right now, time to put it away.
Oh my God, I'm taking my headphones off.
Or you can pause this episode and come back to us when it's good and digested.
Oh my God, I'm so scared.
Let's give that belly some recovery time, huh?
I'm going to vomit already. Please stop.
It's not noted how fast she was going, but it did say she hit a hawk on the way to the hospital and it was still stuck to her bumper.
Stop.
That's fat. She drives a Corolla. It's not a fucking Hummer.
Whoa. That hawk was flying low. That hawk was probably eating something on the street.
Yeah, I would think so.
A dog, because hawks are insane.
Oh God, that's so
They're
gross.
huge. There was one lingering in our backyard not too long ago. I was like,
can you
Jesus.
believe that? A Corolla.
Holy shit.
Also, can you believe that the police report didn't note miles per hour, just noted that there was a hawk?
They're like, that's how fast. Dead on impact.
No, and that's another thing. They scraped the hawk and it walked away. I'm sorry.
My God.
It walked away.
Damn. But now I'm like, hawks are kind of badass. Survivor.
Of course they're badass.
Well, no, they kill
I know.
bunnies.
They kill chihuahuas.
Yeah.
The officer calls in the plate number, writes whatever they do when they pull someone over. But by the time he gets to her window, there is blood everywhere. And her newborn baby is out with the umbilical cord protruding from her soaked yoga pants. She's sobbing and yelling to get the baby, who appears to be having difficulty breathing.
Oh
and
God.
The dispatcher is still on the line with her and is walking Taylor through CPR, which she's performing on baby Clancy.
What?
While the officer is also on the phone with LifeNet dispatch to give exact location for the ambulance.
Oh, God. Okay, but then you take over CPR. This is so traumatic.
I know. EMT gets there and takes over the life-saving efforts on the baby. And you can hear in the officer's dash cam, Taylor's yelling and sobbing for her to pull through. I've not seen or heard this footage. There's a lot of things I will do for you listeners, but watching or even listening to this is not one of them.
I don't know why you picked this. I'm so upset.
I know. There was a school right across the street from where this was all going down, and an off-duty nurse was what happened to be walking inside when she heard and saw the commotion. So she ran over to see if she could help. And she tells Taylor that they need to cut off her yoga pants because of blood clots. So they put her in the trooper's car. And when she gets them off, the placenta falls out.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
I know.
This isn't, oh God.
I know.
This is really upsetting. If Clancy doesn't make it, I quit. So
why don't you just hang in there?
There's that.
It is an upsetting story. Look.
God, sorry, everyone. This is Rebecca's week, by the way. For those of you that get us confused, I would never pick this story.
I know. As I said at the beginning, it's so dark. They load her on the gurney and take her to McCurtain Memorial Hospital in Idabel, which was the hospital she wanted to go to because her doctor was there. They managed to revive Clancy, but it's a very faint heartbeat. So she's hooked up to all these machines while Taylor's in recovery. One of the nurses does a postpartum ultrasound to see if there's any internal bleeding. And they are shocked to see that the woman who says she gave birth on the side of the road doesn't have a uterus.
What?
Taylor had a hysterectomy in 2015.
Oh my God. Thank God this is not real. Wait, but there's a baby. Fuck. Holy shit. Wait, who is this? How? Okay.
No.
I know you're going to tell me. I know.
I know. I'm going to tell you that everything, and I mean everything I've told you about Taylor Parker so far has been one fat ass lie.
Oh, okay.
Imagine the chill that went up that nurse's spine when she did the ultrasound. Oh, I can imagine being her.
How did... Just go. I have so many questions. And wow, my theory in my head, I was like, I know where this is going. Go on.
I would love to hear that after I'm done.
Yeah.
So the only reason they did an ultrasound is because Taylor refused the vaginal exam. Doing a vaginal exam after birth is very standard to make sure you're not hemorrhaging. So the nurse's eyebrows were already raised when she opted to do the ultrasound. That's when I'm like, God, can you imagine? You're like, that's weird. You don't want me to. And then you see no uterus. And you're like,
did she think an ultrasound would hide that fact?
That's what I mean. She's a real idiot.
Oh,
that she thought that, I don't know. She thought that, I guess, the only thing that changes about you pregnant is your belly gets bigger. I don't know. So listen here. Okay. The nurse plays it cool, tells her everything looks good. She sneaks out and runs to the OBGYN to tell him that baby is not hers. He instructs her to go back in there and get a blood sample to test for HCG. HCG is the hormone produced by the placenta that stimulates nutrients to the baby during pregnancy. And it stays inside you, in your blood and your urine, your entire body for up to 6 weeks postpartum. It's actually the thing that at-home pregnancy test detects when you pee on the stick.
Yeah.
If you have even the lowest level of this hormone, you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And it will, again, not leave your body for weeks after the baby comes. So they tell Taylor they need to prick her finger, and she's fine with it. 0 levels of HCG is in her body.
The fuck is wrong with this bitch?
Right. So they call the police straight away.
Okay.
I know you have a bunch of questions. I invite you to be present.
Okay. I can't. I've already left. I've already walked out that door.
Focus on the crime at hand, and I will get to it. We'll get there.
I don't know. Doesn't seem like we're anywhere closer to answering one of my questions.
Well,
but I'll stop.
Page 9 of 21, so hang in there. So they call the police and tell them that a woman came into the hospital via ambulance with a baby claiming to be hers, but it's not. And police tell them, do not let this woman leave under any circumstance, because they were already well aware of a discovery that Bowie County Police Department made earlier that morning.
Oh my God.
Earlier that morning, Reagan Hancock, remember Taylor's friend?
Yes.
Was texting her husband, Homer, really weird things while he was at work. She said she wants to be happy and something's not working. He is completely weirded out, so he calls his mother-in-law, Jessica, Reagan's mom, to go over there and check on her. Jessica said her eyes were tearing up the moment she pulled up.
Uh-oh.
She has no idea why, but pulling up to the house, she knew her life was about to change forever.
Oh, no.
Reading this transcript, I admit I got very teary, but I think I've read it a lot, so I'm going to try to power through.
Yeah.
As she's walking up to the house, she notices a little blood in the driveway, and in her head, she says, like, the dog scratched himself or something.
Oh.
Then she saw a bloody handprint on the doorknob, and it just confirms her feelings. Ooh. Then she walks in, and it was, I cannot imagine. There is blood everywhere. She sees who she thinks is Reagan on the living room floor with one arm over her head, which I just imagine was her trying to protect herself. Which
yeah.
Is, Jessica knew Reagan's 3-year-old daughter, Kinley, was in the house, but she couldn't bring herself to look for her.
No.
Let me just say, Kinley is unharmed. She's safe.
Okay, good.
But Jessica didn't know that at the time. And given how much blood there was, she really didn't think it belonged to one person.
Oh.
So she runs outside and collapses to the ground and calls 911, then calls her husband, Marcus, who shows up in the matter of seconds with his best friend, Chris. She tells Marcus not to go inside because he would have to step over Reagan to get to the rest of the house, and he doesn't need to see her like that. But he says, fuck that, I'm going in to get my granddaughter.
Oh.
So he goes in, and less than 10 seconds later, he comes out and collapses in the driveway due to chest pain. That's how bad this crime scene was. I'm like shaking.
Oh my God, tell me.
His heart is literally breaking.
Does he have a heart attack?
No, he's fine.
Oh my God.
Actually, it could have been. It doesn't say in the court docs.
But he's okay.
Yeah, he's okay. So his friend Chris goes in.
No.
Finds Kinley hiding in her room.
Oh no.
She runs to him and he covers her head with a blanket and takes her outside as police are peeling into the driveway.
Oh my God. She's
it was
3.
Her own blankie.
Oh, stop.
I know.
Stop it.
Yeah, she's 3. Reagan's mom is trying to recap to police and medics what she saw, but she's completely incomprehensible. She is sobbing, and all she can get out is that Reagan was inside and she needs help because she's 35 weeks pregnant.
Yeah, knew it.
So they run inside and find Reagan on the living room floor with so much blood they couldn't initially tell she's face down, but she was.
Oh my God.
And when they turn her over, they see that her baby is gone.
I know. Oh God.
Okay. I know there are a lot of questions. Again, focus. And
I'm trying.
Graphic warning. Just skip ahead 15 to 30 seconds if you're squeamish.
Right now, you're giving us a graphic warning?
Well, yeah, because we're going to get into Reagan's injuries. Yeah.
Oh, God.
15 to 30 seconds if you're squeamish.
I can't.
Or, I know.
We're recording, so I can't.
Yeah, you have to hang in there.
Oh, my God.
21-year-old Reagan Hancock was found beaten with a claw hammer, strangled, and stabbed over 100 times, all at the hands of this evil redneck, Taylor Parker.
Damn.
She's a fucking bitch.
She's a redneck.
She is a redneck. All while Reagan's 3-year-old daughter, Kinley, was in the house. Reagan was getting her dressed for daycare when the attack happened, and poor Kinley ran out of the room to hide while her mom fought like hell.
Oh, my God.
She had broken fingers. One fingertip was missing. I mean, fighting like hell, but she was ultimately overpowered by this stupid bitch. And her baby, whose name was Braxlyn Sage Hancock, was cut out of the womb and taken, all while Reagan was still alive.
Poor Reagan.
She watched her baby be kidnapped.
Stop.
Taylor then put Reagan's placenta and the umbilical cord, which was still attached to the baby, obviously, inside her own pants and raced down the highway en route to the hospital. And that's when she gets pulled over. And that's where we are. Given the gruesome discovery, cops were already pretty confident on what this murderer was going to do with that baby. And were already calling around to hospitals in the Texarkana area when they got the call from the hospital in Idabel, Oklahoma. So they get their body cams rolling. And Taylor has no idea they're even suspicious.
She's a dipshit.
She's a dipshit.
I mean, I know we say that a lot, but wow. The medical implications on your body after you give birth, it's so bizarre that you think just because you've covered yourself in blood,
right,
and presented a baby, you can say, I just gave birth to this baby. It's so weird.
It's beyond weird. And I also Don't know why she was so adamant on going to the hospital in Idabel. Why? Like,
you're naming a bunch of towns I don't know. So is that dumb? I don't know.
What's the hospital she was demanding to be taken to when she got pulled over, because that's where, quote, her doctor was. But I'm like, but really, why did you want to go over an hour away? Any hospital's going to find out what an evil bitch you are.
I know, but she's clearly stupid. So she thought, like, if I'm an hour away, they're never going to know that this crime is not even on the radar over in Idabel.
Yeah, maybe.
Definitely is in whatever the fuck you've said before. But
yeah.
And so obviously her doctor doesn't work there.
No. Oh my God.
What did she think? What's the plan?
I don't know. That's what I mean. The mental, the mindset. We'll get there. Hold on.
Okay.
So cops get their body cams rolling. And yeah, again, Taylor has no idea that they're even suspicious. She's none the wiser. So an SBI agent goes into the room. That's a State Bureau investigator.
Mm-hmm.
And he says he heard that she gave birth on the side of the road and asked what happened. I guess she thinks they're there to make sure things are okay. I don't know. Who the hell knows? But she feeds the bullshit about giving birth. And the cop's like, oh, scary. I hear you won't let them do a vaginal exam to make sure there's no hemorrhaging or blood clots. That's stupid. And we want to know why. And she's like, well, I didn't know it was a big deal. I just didn't want to. I'm not joking. That's how she said.
Okay. Wow. I didn't wanna.
I didn't wanna. It's so, I mean, like, he's like, so did you drive here? She's like, no, an ambulance brought me in. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
How old is she?
Oh, 27.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
And it's whiny like that. Oh, God.
Oh.
So then they probably just can't even bear to hear her speak anymore. So they cut the bullshit and tell her she didn't give birth this morning. They know she had a hysterectomy and they demand to know where this baby came from. And she's just silent. She is so caught off guard. Now, this footage I'll watch all day.
Oh,
she
God.
is so caught off guard. She's just a blank stare, which that right there screams guilt to me. Ultrasound, blood test, vaginal exam, not necessary. Her reaction right then gives it away because
what choice does she have?
I know. But if I were accused of not giving birth after I gave birth, my God.
Oh, my God.
I'd rip those covers off and say, you asked for it, asshole. Ugh, allow me to sneeze and I'll prove it to you.
Yeah, really. Watch out. I wouldn't stand that close to the foot of the bed. It's nice to laugh at this dumb, stupid bitch because this is might be the most horrific thing I've ever heard.
I know.
And that baby better make it. I swear to God.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Of course not. Of course not. You think this bitch who demanded to go an hour fucking away, that's what really pisses me off. I'm like, that you probably could have saved that baby.
Oh, no.
I don't think she wanted to because she didn't actually want a baby. Anyway.
Oh, she just like the attention of, oh, gross. I'm so pissed.
I know. It's so infuriating. And when we do make sad comments, we are not laughing. Obviously, please, in my research, I sobbed several times.
I mean,
so
I can't believe you could get through this, but it's
the sad conversation of us making fun of her is warranted because she's a dumb ass redneck. Oh God, can't even get into her. So we laugh at her expense, nothing else. Okay.
Yeah.
So the cops tell her they're already working on a murder case with the DA down in Bowie County because a pregnant woman was murdered and her baby was taken that exact morning. And now here you are claiming to have a baby on the side of the road, but there's no evidence of you ever being pregnant. Like the jig's up.
And there's evidence that you know this girl very well, actually.
Right.
She's like, oh no, that's terrible.
Right. And she does that thing that criminals do to buy time where she misinterprets what they're saying so she can have like a genuine and honest reaction. She goes, I didn't murder anyone on the side of the road. You know? And he's like, I didn't say that. You know what I said, you dumb redneck. So,
no, she probably did not understand.
Well,
let's be honest.
She's been doing this her whole life. So hold on. So she agrees to do a vaginal exam. And Dr. William Herron, again, this is all body cam footage. The cops just like shut the curtain. Dr. William Herron walks in and walks out 2 seconds later and says, a baby didn't come out of there. Not only was it very obvious by looks, but when they did the formal exam, he saw no cervix, felt no uterus, done deal.
No, we know that.
Cops go in and arrest her. Wade eventually arrives at the hospital, having no idea that his partner was actually behind this entire hog transaction, and she catfished him into getting out of town so she could commit murder and obtain a baby while he was away.
Oh my God, he's not in on it.
No. So he walks in, still thinking that she had the baby in the car. And when he asked where Taylor Parker's room was, the front desk nurse looks over at a group of cops and simply points at him, and they throw him up against the wall and arrest him.
Holy shit.
And his first thought was still that Taylor's mom is behind all of this, and he was being arrested for illegally driving livestock across state lines.
Oh, poor Shauna.
He clarifies at the police station that he was in no way involved in this. He had no idea that Taylor was faking a pregnancy. So she's arrested, and Ranger Joshua Mason is the first to interview Taylor, and he asks her if she's ever been diagnosed with any mental illness, and Taylor responds that she's dealt with bouts of depression after her stroke in 2015. She has never had a stroke.
Great.
I mean, she doesn't know what's real and fake at this point. It's unbelievable. So then she said that her and Reagan got in an argument that morning, and it got physical, and Reagan fell to the ground, and she was so injured, she knew she was dying, and asked Taylor to take the baby from her body. Save the baby, she said.
Okay. There's too many remarks for that. Next.
Right. I mean, I would just stare at her if I were that cop. Mix, really. Not call 911. Perform surgery, friend, was her first instinct. What a weirdest shit instinct to have.
And then put it down your pants. Like, that's the whole thing. No.
Right. No.
Next.
So why were the walls covered in blood? Shut up. Anyway, let's not even entertain it.
I'm not.
Taylor goes on to say that she had a scalpel in the car for God knows what reason, and used that to perform the requested surgery. Police asked where that scalpel was, and she said she left it on the floor, but police never found that at the crime scene. It was later found in Reagan's neck in the autopsy.
What?
I am not joking. This is the most brutal killing I've ever covered. And it's all while a toddler is in the fucking house.
I'm flabbergasted by that. Oh.
I can't believe Kenley was spared. Thank God she was. Honestly, had time not been of the essence, she probably would have killed her too. She's horrible.
Yeah.
She is charged with capital murder for both Reagan and Braxlin, who sadly did not make it, as well as kidnapping. And she pleads not guilty. So let's go to trial and annihilate her.
Oh my God. She pleads not guilty.
Yeah. And so much comes out.
In a death penalty state. That's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I hate her so much. Ooh, and she has a long life ahead of her. She's 27. A long life.
Mm-hmm. Her trial started in September 2022. It took in total 49 days, including 25 days of testimony, 142 witnesses, some testified multiple times, and over 100 pieces of evidence. So it's a lot, and it includes a lot of disgusting, vile details that I will not get in the weeds of.
Yeah, thank you. I thought in that little recap of how long it took, it was going to be all that, and then 20 minutes of deliberation.
Oh, well, it was less than an hour.
Yes.
Essentially took them the time to walk to and from the chamber.
Order lunch. Tell what they wanted for lunch, and then look at each other and nod silently and get up.
Yeah. Prosecution starts their opening statements by her motive, which was, again, not to have a baby. This was very evident by the fact that before her hysterectomy, she had her tubes tied. She did not want kids to begin with, and she already had two, which she neglected whenever she was, quote, chasing a man, according to her brother, who later testified. So her motive was solely to keep her boyfriend. She felt that he was falling out of love with her. By the way, her boyfriend of only a couple months.
Chill.
She's fucking insane.
She had a voluntary hysterectomy?
No, it was a complications due to a cyst.
Oh, okay.
Her tubes are already tied, so she's,
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
She felt he was falling out of love with her, and a child would convince him to stay. Essentially, she wanted to trap him.
Sure.
Which, by the way, he later testified that he was never actually in love with Taylor to begin with.
He's like, I barely know her.
Right. I am glad that she had to hear that and couldn't react, though. So
yeah.
That's one of the very few satisfying parts of the story. So I'll just run through the lies that came out during trial through witness statements and all that. And if you have any questions, just ask, because there's so much of it. I may have forgotten to note something, but I don't think I did. So,
oh, you're going to regret that.
She got a fake bump that progressively got bigger from a website called fakeababy.com. Y'all.
Shut that shit down now.
Talk about a rabbit hole.
No.
The website is still active, and I went on it fully aware that now my phone is going to target me for those creepy ass ads. But it was worth it. It's insane. They sell fake bumps, obviously. They sell fake sonograms, fake DNA tests.
What?
The vibe it's giving off is that it's a prank website.
No.
Which it's not. That's not a funny prank for a lot of reasons. We all know this. But it's more like they have to set up their website like a joke for liability reasons or something. But it comes with a little wink, wink undertones. Like on the homepage, there's a banner that changes every few seconds. And one of them is a girl looking defeated, holding a pillow. And it says, like a bubble, she's thinking, how can I get his attention? And under it, it says, we can help. Y'all. It is fucked up.
Damn it. I do not want to go to the website, but the curiosity is taking me over. Is there an about us? Like, what do they say?
I don't think so.
We're just joshing around.
No, I don't think so. But a lot of their reviews, which I imagine are fake and written by them, are like, this was a great prank. My coworkers thought it was hilarious when I pranked them. I'm like, okay, you're setting yourself up to be a joke, gag, whatever.
Ew.
There was also a 5-star review under one of their products, and it said, this was exactly what I wanted. We totally fooled my husband and his whore girlfriend.
I bet you did. Ooh, so they look realistic, all that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's how Wade, that was one of my top questions is, did Wade never see her naked?
I know. Okay, so we get to, I know everyone's probably eager to hear from Wade. So let's go to Wade's testimony.
Okay.
First of all, she did announce this charade during COVID. She announced she was pregnant during COVID when men couldn't go to appointments. Although I was pregnant in COVID when this bitch was claiming she was. And there were 2 appointments my husband could go to, which was the first one, pregnancy confirmation, and that 25-week sonogram. It's the only time you see your baby. But Wade doesn't know this. He went to one appointment and they actually made him wait outside. So he never went to any of them after that.
Yeah.
He testified that he heard her throw up every morning, which is sick. I don't know if she was doing it, the sound herself, or actually making herself do that. But because of how sick she, quote, always felt, they never had sex. And even said that her doctor recommended that they don't have sex because it wasn't safe. He has no idea this is bullshit.
Right.
He's never impregnated anyone before. So he really didn't know the ins and outs of it at all. She showed him medical records, all forged, of course. He said she literally had an answer to everything. He had no reason not to believe her. And in his mind, it would be very brazen of her to be faking this and posting as much as she was about it on social media. I mean, every day was an update about the size of Clancy. Like today, baby Clancy's the size of a lemon type thing. What the doctor said. The doctor deemed it too unsafe to have a vaginal birth. I'm going to be having a C-section. Like,
wow.
Crazy.
Is her Facebook still, or whatever, Instagram still up?
No,
damn it.
I don't think so. But I do have the pictures. I'm going to post her post. Don't worry.
Oh my God.
She had this huge gender reveal where she invited nurses she used to work with at an OBGYN clinic. Taylor wasn't a nurse. I think she was the front desk person.
No, we know that. We know that.
Yeah, she did not go to nursing school. But she invited all her old coworkers who were nurses, to this gender reveal party and for the drive-by baby shower and all the things you did in COVID.
I forgot about drive-by anything. Wow.
Like knowing they were going to probably ask detailed questions. You risk them even lifting your shirt to see the bump.
Ew, yeah.
I mean, inappropriate if you're actually pregnant, but
yeah, that happened to Rebecca.
That happened to me. Someone lifted my shirt when I was barely pregnant, and I'm like, "There's no bump there yet." My God.
Oh my God, it's so inappropriate.
Which inappropriate when you're actually pregnant, but you'll find out Wade's mother was not convinced she was pregnant. So I'm like,
how?
Cross a line, get some answers, lift that shirt, cross a line,
do it
anyway.
Definitely people are touching it. Definitely people are touching it. But I guess this stupid fucking website. I'll stop with the F word. I'm sorry. I feel like I've said it 100 times.
Well, she warrants it because she gets my blood boiling.
For real.
So Wade stood by his girlfriend and what he thought was his unborn child. And because of it, he lost his job over it. He said his reputation was ruined and he ended up hundreds of thousands in debt, thinking that she had a trust fund to pay all of this off when that was all bullshit. There is no money. There's no oil and gas. There's no Uncle Butch.
Oh my God.
That was her texting and emailing herself and Wade.
Are you serious?
That first pregnancy where she lost the baby in the tragic accident, fear not. There was no baby. There was no tragic accident. Her dad, who called Wade, was her.
What?
She had a voice-changing app of some sort.
Are you serious?
She's been doing this her whole life.
Oh.
I'm sure I don't need to tell you, but all the evil mom stuff, complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Shauna testifies that she and Taylor had a great relationship until she met Wade. That's when she said Taylor started alienating herself, which now we know why. She also testified that she never threatened her or Wade, never sent them an email, never a text. That was all Taylor. Never called them. All Taylor.
Wow.
Again, voice changing app. In fact,
that is so bizarre.
I know.
Did Wade ever meet Shauna in person?
Yes. That worked in Taylor's favor because he testified she was standoffish.
Oh, right.
Which grants another reason why he believed Taylor. She's like, I've met her. She is a bitch.
Wow. God, he was duped. I mean, duped is an understatement.
In fact, remember the text that came from, and I said, quote, Taylor's ex-husband saying Taylor's not pregnant. She's crazy. And Wade and Taylor chalked it up to being Shauna. Well, that was the only legitimate text that actually came from Taylor's ex-husband, Tommy, who was trying to warn Wade and even said, the sonogram picture she's posting online is my son, is an old one. That is of our child. She just cut off the date.
Wow.
But
Tommy.
Taylor grabbed that phone and blocked him and blocked everyone else she could think of from Wade's phone. And then they got burner phones because of, quote, what Shauna was doing. It was not for what Shauna was doing. Uh-huh.
Tommy, you really tried.
I know.
Spot on, too. Wow.
Well, he knew she got a hysterectomy. He was like, she's not pregnant, dude.
Yeah. Wow.
She had several other lies included in the Shauna nonsense. I did not share because it got way too outlandish, honestly. It only makes Wade look bad. Shit like her mom had a hit on her and that she was connected to mobsters in Mexico and the FBI was covering it up. It was all very stupid, unnecessary. She never went to jail, obviously. It's crazy.
Oh, man.
Shauna recognized how many lies her daughter has told other people, but testified that she personally has never been duped by her. And the prosecutor's like, Shauna, Taylor has never had a stroke and she's never had MS. MS was another one I did not feel necessary to include.
Wait, wasn't the stroke, quote unquote, when she was like a teenager?
It was 2015. Yeah. She was born in 92. So
yeah. Sorry. Okay. Oh, man. Shauna, sweetie, the prosecutor.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And Shauna's like, no, not diagnosed, but her symptoms were there. I've been with her at the hospital and they just couldn't determine it was MS. And I was with her when she had the stroke and she was slurring and all that. I'm like,
wow.
Like, no, the doctor's here to testify. He's one of the 142 witnesses that she had a normal brain scan. They can tell shit like that. This is what I mean, where I'm like, your pregnancy, everything she faked is so superficial. Like she slurred and said she had a stroke. Yeah. She got a bump and said she was pregnant. I'm like, one test from a doctor is going to determine all this. Oh God. So it seems there's some denial happening with Shauna.
But if you don't know, if she really wasn't like this before, I mean, if I were with you and you started slurring and like seemingly having a medical emergency, I wouldn't think to question it.
No, I know.
Because it would be so out of character. What flipped the switch to make her so attention seeking?
I don't know.
Oh God, I hate her.
I don't know. It's unclear. But Shauna, along with a few other family members of Taylor's, testified and confirmed they knew the pregnancy was fake because of her hysterectomy.
Oh, right. Gosh, I keep forgetting.
I know. But they didn't confront her because they figured, a fake pregnancy can only last for so long. And it was only a matter of time before the lie was exposed. Taylor had blocked all family members on all social media, so they couldn't see her constant updates. But they heard through the grapevine she was telling people she was pregnant. And they decided to kind of let it play out, having no idea they would go this far, obviously. But Shauna did say the family members talked amongst themselves and agreed that if somehow she produced a baby claiming it to be her own, they would go to authorities.
Ugh.
But in their mind, they thought worst case scenario was going to be a kidnapping, not murder.
I mean,
I know.
let's not roll the dice.
Oh, I know.
Let's not roll the dice. And so, sorry, no one other than Tommy thought to warn Wade to say, like, just so you know, she had and why didn't Tommy say she had a hysterectomy?
He did.
Oh, okay. He did say that. Okay. Wow.
He did. There's a whole text. I can read verbatim what he said.
And by the way, kidnapping a newborn baby, really bad.
Oh, I know.
I'm mad. Now I'm mad at them. I'm sorry.
I know. Taylor's brother also tried to reach out to Wade. They're blocked. No one can get to Wade. No one. And they know this is recurring. You said, like, if she's never done this before, she almost got married to a third guy. I just don't want to get into this because it gets very convoluted.
Okay. This is very on brand. Okay.
Right.
Got
yeah.
it.
She told some ex-boyfriend that when they get married, she wants to have his babies. And they went to like an OB appointment and they're, you don't have a uterus. Like right then and there.
Wow.
And the boyfriend was like, what the fuck? You're such a liar. Whatever.
Oh God, I hate her so much. And please don't add us. I know she has mental illness. You can argue that.
No, she doesn't. No.
Oh, okay,
a forensic psychiatrist read 10,000 pages of her records and had over 600 or something pieces of evidence and deemed her not mentally ill. She is not. She even has a prison therapist who has worked with her for years who says, no, she is not remorseful. She's not mentally ill. There's nothing wrong with her. She's sane.
Okay.
She's just awful.
So there you go.
Don't at us. She's not mentally ill.
I mean, it's again, you could argue that for every single case.
Yeah. It sounds like she has like other people throughout Munchausen's type thing. Because what strikes me is that had a murder not been involved, I would feel bad for her. She thinks so little of herself that like she's not enough to keep a man. So she has to add that she's rich. She has to add money. Yeah. That's not even enough. So she has to add illness. She told a bunch of people she had MS.
Yeah.
That's not even enough, she thinks, to keep Wade. So she adds a baby into it. Like, had she not murdered anyone, I'd feel pretty bad about what little self-worth she thinks she has.
True.
But she did murder someone, so she can fuck right off.
And I mean, in the most gruesome way. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There are some cases you can feel bad, not when it goes this far. And I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
I hate her. She's a little bitch.
Wade's mom, Connie, testifies she never really believed she was pregnant. She saw how much debt Wade was going into, just racking it up based on this supposed trust fund Taylor had, and sensed that she was a con woman who fakes everything about her life, pregnancy included. And she even told Wade her suspicions, and Wade got pissed and did not speak to her for 4 months.
God.
And even said someone like congratulates them on one of the many Facebook posts that she puts, like, we're pregnant. Someone congratulates them, and he responds to that person and says something to the effect of like, thanks. If you can believe it, some people think we're faking this whole thing. They're going to feel stupid in a couple of months.
Oh no.
Did not age well.
Why would you even put that out there?
He was clearly hostile towards his mom, knew she would see it, you know.
Oh my God. Do you have a screenshot of that?
Yeah, I do. And I'll post it. Another thing that tipped Connie off is what an evil bitch Shauna was. Her and Shauna became Facebook friends, and she saw that Shauna took Taylor's actual daughter and son to like Colorado, and they were playing on the playground and fun. And she just thought, she was like, if they're in such a feud, why would Taylor let her kids, whatever. So she was just tipped off. And she's been pregnant before. And she was like telling Wade, like, that is just not, her belly's too big to be this early. She said, I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she was just like a bunch of things that weren't adding up to her. And she just thought she was a con woman.
She was also dead on.
Yeah, she was dead on. And Wade told Taylor this, and like, my mom thinks you're faking it. So Taylor produced a fake pregnancy confirmation and gave it, which I would, if I were Connie, I'd be like, no, just lift your shirt to your belly button. I would just want to see it.
Yeah.
Do not submit. You don't have to get a doctor's note. I just want to see your belly.
No, I want to see you pee on the stick.
What, right? Like,
so, okay. Well, I pictured that dumb, stupid ass website.
No,
very realistic. Like you could
no.
spackle on, like to blend into your skin, and nope.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, it's like a pillow.
It's a
like,
it's a white pillow.
stop.
Yes. I mean, it's in the form of a bump. You could
Obviously.
fake it, obviously. Oh, I'm going to post her pregnancy photo shoot. You have no idea.
I am shocked. So for
Right.
all this time, Wade never saw her naked?
No. She told him sex was not safe.
I know, it doesn't matter. So I'm in the shower and Payne comes to brush his teeth. Like, what do you mean?
I don't know. Maybe they weren't at that comfort level yet because they'd only been dating for a few months.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
I mean, you're changing. Like, what are you? I'm shocked.
Shit crazy. But honestly, Wade, not only was he never in love with her, he wasn't that attracted to her. There's actually a text message that was released.
Uh-oh.
It's a text from Taylor to Wade, January 2020. So a month before she gets pregnant. And it said something like, we haven't had sex in a couple weeks now. We've lost the intimacy. Again, they're only dating a couple months. Like, this should not be an issue. She's like, we've lost the intimacy. I want to get back to it and become closer and, essentially get our sex life back. And his response, I'll pass.
What?
I'll pass.
Oh my God.
I'm like,
oh, he like hated her.
Was not attracted to her. And then he follows it with, like, I'm just not that sexual of a person. I mean, he's a guy in his 20s.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Was he like, wait, sorry, how did you get pregnant? Was this immaculate conception?
They had a, come to Jesus talk, and I'm sure they had sex once, and then there it is.
Yeah, there it is. But they didn't live together. They must not have lived together.
No, they did.
Okay. I can't get over this. I'm sorry.
They did. Remember the house caught on fire when they ran out for errands, which she started, by the way, obviously.
Oh my God. This is the worst story I've ever heard.
So
I'm not trying to victim blame poor Wade. Wow, duped, but I am shocked by this.
I know.
I thought it was like movie production style bumps. She was probably spending thousands on them. No. She shoved a pillow up there.
Thousands with what? Please.
I know exactly. I don't know.
So a nurse from an OBGYN clinic in Paris, Texas, testified that Taylor scheduled a prenatal exam on September 30th, 2020. That's the due date she told everyone she had. But when she got there, she looked visibly upset and, quote, crying. And she told them that her partner had recently died in the military and her mom didn't show up to be with her for her appointment, so she wanted to reschedule. The nurse, who felt awful, offered to give her a free sonogram to make her feel better, but she declined, which set red flags off immediately to the nurses, because what expecting mother would turn down a free sonogram to see their unborn baby kicking around?
Yeah.
Then she and another nurse testified seeing Taylor hours after they thought she left, and she was sitting on a bench right outside the clinic door, observing pregnant women walking in and walking out of the building.
Oh.
Police later found that Taylor had written down a few of their license plates.
What?
And looked them up while sitting on the bench. She was looking for victims.
Oh, no.
Which is so fucked up. I don't know if those women were like notified or even noticed her on the bench, but think of the willies they have now if they did notice.
Luckily, she's so dumb. Even with a license plate, she wouldn't. What's she going to do with that? She doesn't know how to find these people.
No, it is spooky. But also, it's really fucked up. But talk about brazen. Why make an appointment at all? Just, I know that observing pregnant women is so fucked up. But why make the appointment at all? Why go in there, give a sob story about your dead partner and mom standing you up?
The attention.
Again, her mindset, I guess it is. But she included such an unnecessary amount of people in her lives. And it just opened the door for more people to raise suspicion. Like, had she just gone to the clinic and sit on the bench outside without going inside, she could have spared herself 2 more witnesses to testify against her. Like,
I know, but she probably wanted like that phone call saying, reminder, you have an appointment. So Wade could hear it. Something really manipulative like that. Sneaky little bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And B, she liked attention. She would love to walk in and say, I'm pregnant and the baby's dad just died.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't imagine the reaction she got.
Right. But then of course, they're going to make, do you want to see your little baby? It'll make you feel better, for you to decline it. Like, you just opened yourself up again.
Yeah.
To people raising an eyebrow.
I know. But
I know.
We haven't talked about her Harvard education yet. We know she's an idiot.
I know. But the fact that she's been doing this all her life and she has been tricking people all her life, you would think she would be like a mastermind genius, but she's far from it.
Duh.
And because she is deemed sane, again, I'll reiterate, she has been evaluated. She is sane, not mentally ill.
10,000 pages.
It allows me 10,000 pages. It allows me to raise questions on her mindset because it's just, I don't get it. And we get into even more examples. So she was also seen, by the way, lingering in maternity stores, just watching people. I mean, it's all so creepy to think that she was looking for someone to kill.
Yeah.
It was around this time she noticed her acquaintance and Facebook friend, Reagan Hancock, was pregnant too. And she figured this was a much easier victim because they already knew each other. Taylor reached out to Reagan, reconnected, and for the next week, Taylor brought Reagan baby gifts and Starbucks, which Reagan was very appreciative of. And she even asked Taylor if she would take her pregnancy pictures. Thank God it fell through. But can you imagine how grim those pictures would be for poor Homer, Reagan's husband? Oh, God.
It's terrible.
So for about a week, Taylor was over at Reagan's almost every night, just hanging out, or so Reagan thought. But in reality, Taylor needed to study the layout of her house, get the routine down, and also determine which route was fastest from her house to the hospital. The medical examiner testified that Reagan was stabbed and beaten in 4 or 5 areas of the house before eventually dying in her own living room. So again, she really fought. She had extensive defensive wounds on her hands, arms, 5 skull fractures, a broken nose, and as I mentioned earlier, over 100 stab wounds. Cell phone records showed the last text message Taylor sent Reagan was at 7:50 a.m. and it came from Reagan's house. So I'm assuming that Taylor texted her like, hey, I'm pulling in or something. No idea. I can only assume. Then both Reagan and Taylor's phone left at 9:14 a.m.
Oh my God.
Taylor clearly stole it, but no one knows what she did with it. To this day, it's never been recovered. But that's over an hour of a struggle.
Kinley.
I know. I mean, it's ruthless.
And Reagan, it's so sick.
Oh God, it's so sick. And they found tranquilizers in Taylor's purse because they have a farm with livestock. And this is what I mean by the thought process. And again, I know it's pointless to question her because I'm coming from a rational place, but
just curious.
I have to wonder, like, why would you not use those?
Yeah.
Still horrible. Do not get me wrong, but a little more humane. It wouldn't have been such a painful death.
Oh,
it's
awful.
Last piece of damning evidence is that one crock was found, the shoe. One crock was found at the scene of the crime. The other one was still on Taylor when she gets pulled over. And again, with her decision,
what?
You wore Crocs blows my mind that someone who has tricked someone or lied her entire life, smart enough to forge credible medical documents, thought, I'm going to get dressed for this murder. Let me slide on some flip-flops. It's just,
oh my God.
And be on my way. I'm sorry. So now it's defense's turn.
Why?
They don't have one witness, not
Obviously.
one character witness or otherwise, not one person who was willing to stand up and tell a good story about Taylor. They speak for 8 minutes.
Oh my God. After all that,
8 minutes, and argued that the baby was never alive when she was taken. So you quote, can't kidnap a person who's already dead. I read that line and I couldn't go on. It just pisses me off too bad.
That defense sounds very familiar. I think
So they're trying to get the kidnapping charge off and they're fuck off. I know the doctor who revived Braxlin said that's not true. They wouldn't have been able to revive her up to an hour after the attack if she was already dead.
Right.
They can't determine that like they can in adults. I don't know. I can't read about it. It's too upsetting. But it was just an argument. Was she alive when she was taken from the womb? Doctors are saying yes, for sure. And Taylor's dumbass attorneys are saying no. I'm like, whatever. So on October 3rd, 2022, almost 2 years after the murders, the jury tells defense and Taylor to fuck off and find her guilty of both capital murder and kidnapping. As she waits for her sentencing trial, she tries to frame 2 other inmates by writing confession letters on their behalf.
What?
What
are
a
you
joke.
doing?
It's such a joke. She also wrote to the FBI.
Okay. Yes.
We have another writer.
Oh my God.
Listen to this shit. I was like, the post conviction behavior could be an episode in itself.
She can't help herself.
She can't help herself. I was like, I'm not going to get into any of this. And then I read the FBI letter and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I do have to get into it just a little bit.
Oh my God.
So she wrote to the FBI offering, quote, her services, which they desperately need.
Oh my God. Finally. We've been trying to get you for years.
Someone to help, FBI, to help U.S. intelligence, please. Get her in here. She at first claims her innocence and says that she's going down for something that someone else did. Shut up. We don't care about that. But says she's really good at profiling what motivates a criminal, and her favorites are murderers. So she can help out by being a criminal profiler, essentially. She goes on to say she's manipulative and can play, quote, sexual mind games with male and females. And that she runs the jail and no one crosses her. So the Federal Bureau needs her firsthand insight to solve crimes.
I hate her.
No, bitch. They really don't. They don't need you. Y'all need me. Fuck you.
I can't even dignify that with a response. I really can't. There's too much. First of all, the FBI will if you're trying to join the FBI, they're knocking on your neighbor's door from when you were 10 years old to see if you ever stole bubble gum.
Right.
What? Look at your rap sheet, bitch. Also, you're stupid. Right. So no, the FBI definitely doesn't want you.
You know the mindset of a murderer. You're the sloppiest murderer I've ever.
Gross.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
I've had it with this bitch's mouth.
I'm almost done.
Thank God.
But it's one more awful thing that will make your blood boil. At her sentencing trial, she allegedly told several other inmates who testified that she did, in fact, kill Reagan. She had zero remorse for it, which her prison therapist agrees, zero remorse.
Mm-hmm.
And even told them, okay, I'm sorry, but she even told them as Reagan was dying, she held Braxton up to Reagan's cheek and said, tell mama bye.
Shut the fuck up.
I believe it too.
That, obviously.
And that sealed her fate. Bam, sentenced to death by lethal injection.
Yes.
Death row inmate 999626, the seventh woman in Texas to be sentenced to death.
The youngest?
I don't know.
Oh.
I cannot talk about this bitch anymore. I'm sick of it.
That makes me so infuriated. There it goes. That negates the you've got to take into account, feeling bad for her.
If that didn't do it, her prison therapist said literally the only time she is emoted about the situation at all was the day before the 1-year anniversary. And she was stressed because of how many people were going to talk bad about her on social media the following day for the 1-year anniversary.
That's a wrap on this bitch.
I mean, she is horrible.
Where did Emerson go? Because the dad wasn't in the picture. Now the mom's gone.
Shauna.
Oh, great. Shauna. Duh, Shauna.
I will leave you with Jessica, Reagan's mom's, just a sentence of her victim impact statement.
I don't know.
Well, she talks about how this trial is not, because the trial was mainly about just how deceptive and evil Taylor is, but essentially talking about her bullshit, diseases, everything she's lied about. And Jessica talks about how this trial was not about her and her bullshit ailments that makes her the victim. She said, quote, Reagan was one of the very few people on this earth that cared about you. So every time you think to yourself, oh, poor me, nobody cares about me, know that that's true.
Yes.
Love it.
Jessica.
Of impact statement.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone. It was dark. Go watch Friends. Everyone needs a palate cleanser.
That was one of the darkest stories I've ever heard. I think I remember it.
What was your theory at the very beginning when you're like, God, I thought I had my own theory?
Oh, that Reagan was doing it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because you mentioned her and then didn't mention her for a while. And I was like, why'd you throw her in there? And then I started catching on. But wow.
Because she's the poor victim. And I would have made this whole episode from Reagan's perspective since she is the victim. There's not a lot on her childhood. There's not much of a background around her.
Oh, poor Reagan. I hope Kenley's okay.
I hope Kenley's okay. And she still has updates. Y'all could go look up Taylor Parker. She fake illnesses in prison only to pass corrections officers a slutty note. She's just,
oh God,
she's horrible. she makes her I was about to say gym uniform. She makes her prison
her prison outfit. Her prison threads into
prison thread. She like rips it so it's like a deeper V and like short. Like she is horrible.
She is
terrible.
terrible.
Actually, now so much information just filling in my head. You asked earlier what made her this way. Her family did testify after she got gastric bypass surgery. Everything changed. I'm
really?
Sorry. There's so much floating in my head. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot about that. Her brother testified that she was completely normal. She was in a healthy relationship with a guy who loved her. She loved him. And she got gastric bypass surgery and she needed male attention.
Really?
And it just flipped a switch. She started neglecting her kids. She saw what she could get with her new body.
I've heard that.
You have?
That it can it's like some weird amount of people afterwards, and like after LASIK eye surgery.
Oh no.
They all of a sudden sometimes they can be depressed, sometimes there's stuff going on. I've never heard of this extreme, but there have been like a weird amount of connections of people who develop like depression and anxiety after surgeries like that. I think gastric bypass is one of them. I know LASIK is one of them.
That's weird, LASIK.
I think I have heard that. Yeah. Wow. Someone will tell us. We're not in the medical field, but yeah.
I'm sure they will.
Wow. That is interesting.
Patrons: Mary Eliza, Mandy, TJ, Laura, Samantha, Megan, Morgan, Lacey, Rebecca, Maggie, Danica, Gia, Amanda, Bess, Gail, Felicia, Crystal, Becca, Aaron, Christy, Peyton. Sorry, I said that word. Peyton, Dale, Amanda, Joanna, Kaylee, Megan, Nicole, Kennedy, Alexa.
Nice. One of our patrons just messaged and said, whenever y'all like rattle off those names, I think of the scene where Ted and John and Ted, he's guessing the name. Brandy, Tiffany, Brittany, Jessica, blah, blah. He goes, okay, is any of those that end in Lynn? Yes. Brandy Lynn, Tammy Lynn. I was like, oh my God, I just laughed out loud. You're dead on.
Dead on. I love that.
So good. Anyway.
Customs. First one's from Lauren. Shout out to my sister Danny, who is my ride or die. Watch, I haven't read these. Something's going to be related to my story.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right. First one's Lauren. Shout out to my sister Danny, who is my ride or die. I got her hooked on the show. Tell her cheers to you. Inside joke. Oh, it's an inside joke. Cheers to you, Danny.
Cheers to you. We love a cheers. What are we holding, champs?
You didn't want me to say that, did you? You just wanted me to outright say cheers to you, Danny.
We never know. So if it's in there, we're reading it.
We're reading it.
Cheers.
Love you guys. My favorite crime podcast. Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Second one is from Chrissy.
Oh my God, what?
Shauna is my identical twin sister.
Shut up.
I said we were going to have something related to the story. That is insane. It is always my stories.
That is so weird.
How weird is that?
Last time it was like Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? That is crazy.
All right. Shauna is my identical twin sister. Shout out to twins. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. At 43, she is marrying Dave, the love of her life this month. I am marrying Jody, the love of my life, in April. Shout out to old people and gay people finding love. Shout out always.
Oh, I love it.
I love that. Congrats.
Wait, that's so exciting.
That is
married
exciting.
Same year. How fun.
Congrats. And my last one is from Meg. I want to shout out the most amazing woman I know who came to this country with nothing. Oh my God. And made a life for herself and her family. And then her quote, PETA, turned PETA. Oh,
I remember this one. Yeah. But I didn't know if I should read what it meant. But go on. Okay. Go on.
And then her PETA ex turned the kids against her and she fought to get them back.
She's a badass.
Not just custody, but their love.
Oh yeah.
You know who you are. You are a great mom and a great friend.
That's badass. I can't imagine.
That is badass. What's PETA?
Pain in the ass. But I think I responded and said, do you want me to say pain in the ass? But I don't think she's responded. I need to check. But I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think
She tells like the worst thing he did. He sounds like a pain in the ass.
he sounds like a dick.
So good for you. You're
Good
badass.
for you. You are a badass.
Your kids are lucky. Thank y'all.
Thank you all for listening. I hope you find your palate cleanser to listen to or watch after that dark story. And I'm sorry.
Go listen to Smartless.
Oh, yeah, it's funny. Y'all are the best.
People are the worst.
Taylor Parker is the fucking worst.
I'm going to Google her. Bye.
Bye.